Okay, everybody, we're going to go over SAR TOPO. You can see it here on your screen. So right here is where we are logged in. So right now we're logged into su66topo@gmail.com. You can create your own, and you don't have to log in at all to use this. It's completely up to you. You can do it either way. So this is very basic. Don't let all this stuff overwhelm you on the sides. You don't have to do that. The first thing that you can do here is maybe pick how you want to see your map. Okay, so right now we're looking at it as satellite. If I want to just look at it as just a map only, I can do that. I can do terrain. There's the terrain. Generally, satellite works pretty well, especially if you're familiar with areas, because you can see areas around you. Now, keep in mind this does not live data. It is Google data, which is updated. Could be up to 5 years, but it's supposed to be every 3 years. So just keep that in mind that, these group of trees might not be here because the logging company might have just took them out last week. So just keep that in mind while you're looking at this. The coordinates up here at the top are wherever my mouse is, basically, or my hand is, just so you know that. And you're going to use really easy functions on this. So new adject, new layers, don't worry about that. Just close this sidebar so you don't have to worry about that. And after you have your satellite picked, or the way that you want to view this, I personally like looking at satellite. I like using the contours, which gives us these orange lines, which tells us the terrain steep, like how steep the terrain is. So the closer the lines together, the steeper the terrains. So after I pick this, I'm going to close this as well. So now I have my full map. Okay, pretty easy. So I'm going to put in a location where the search call might be. So I'm going to use 911 rapid response, since we all know where it's at. 700 West Main Street, Annville, PA 17003. Type it in right like you're going to type it in your GPS. I hit go. There it is. And here's a good example of map updating. The shop expansion out the back, which is right in this location, was done about 2 years ago. It is not on the map yet. So there's a good example of this. So now that I have this is my search area, and let's say the last area, point of last seen, maybe was out in front of the building. So you can do everything with a right click. So if you right click, you can go to new, and you're going to use three main things here. You're going to use marker, line, and a range ring. Okay, so every call we generally will put a range ring in. So I'm going to do a range ring. I'm going to do my range ring at, let's say, 0.5 miles. Actually, we should create one at 1 mile. Create that ring. I'm going to go back to my area. Remember, wherever I'm right-clicking my hand at is the center of that range ring. So I'm going to go back to that same area, do it again, click range ring. I'm going to do 0.5 miles this time. I'm going to zoom out so you can actually see these rings. There they are. 0.5 miles is a lot farther than what you think, and so is 1 mile. Look, it's the whole way at the other end of Annville intersection. Okay, I'm going to zoom back in here again. I'm on some slower internet, so just bear with us as it updates. So now I'm at my range ring. Now I'm going to put point of last seen. I'm going to right click again. I'm going to go to new. I'm going to go to marker. Brings up a label. Point of last seen. I can write comments in here if I want. John, if we're looking for John Doe, I can write in John Doe, whatever it may be. Color coordinate it. This is really up to the user at that time, what colors you want to use. So I'm going to use green. I'm going to click OK. So there's my point of last seen. And now let's say I want to create a task and I want somebody to search this field and I want to send somebody out. So real simple. Again, guess what? I'm going to right click and I'm going to use line. Remember, we're going to use marker, line, and range ring. So now I'm going to use line. I'm going to select where I want to start my draw. So I'm going to select once. I release my mouse. I come to the next section. I select again by clicking. I'm going to go down here to the road and see how the road highlights. So when you hit definitive roadways, it'll actually highlight so you can contour the roadway easier. So I'm going to select there, and I'm going to go down the roadway and I'll actually follow the road, which is nice. So if you want somebody to search to the center of the road, this is how you would do this. I'm going to select again. I'm going to come over here, select. I'm going to go back to my starting point, and wherever I want to end it, I'm going to double click. So click twice. So I clicked twice, and now it made my area to search. So now I can click on the line. See how I come across the line and it gets bold? If I right click on the line and click edit, now I can edit my label. So we can label this, let's say 201, for instance. I can write any comments in there if I want. And I'm going to do blue for my 201. So, and there you go. Now it's labeled 201. 201 comes back. They don't find anything, or if they find something, if they call it in with a coordinate, I can go up here and type in my coordinates. It'll take me right to it. If they give me the right coordinates and the decimals with the negatives as needed, I can type that in. And if you type in a coordinate up here, wherever the center of your page is at is where that's at. That can get a little tricky sometimes. So like when I pulled up 700 West Main Street, this came dead center in the page because that is how you're designated. Unfortunately, when you type that in there, it doesn't put an arrow like where 700 West Main Street is. Just remember, it's always in the center of your page, whatever you type in this box. If I type in coordinates up here and it kind of goes like this, well, I'm going to look here. The center is going to be right about here. So that's where that coordinate would be. So let's just say they found a shoe there. So what can I do? I can right click, go to marker, type in shoe found. Maybe select my color for all found objects is going to be purple. And I can maybe put down the time that they found the shoe, photo logged or something like that I could put down. Guess it would help if I spell that right. So real simple, I can go back into that, go to edit, go back, put an E in for shoe. Simple. So that's all you really need to know to work SAR Topo, to get it going up and running in any command structure. You simply find your area where you're at. You right click to create new lines, markers, and range rings. If you can do that, you can pretty much manage this mapping software. If you do not get logged in during a search at any point in time, you can come up here and you can click the login and actually log in and then name your map and then share that link with everybody that's even on the scene, and they can see live real update, but they won't be able to edit it. So this is really nice if the radio guy might have a laptop at a radio area, and he could have editing rights, and he could put in this shoe found when people call in, and then the person operating SAR Topo, creating tasks, could actually see this stuff start popping up as he adds that type of stuff in. So pretty simple, pretty easy to operate it. If you do have to import a GPS, it's not real hard. You just go to import, choose files. Your site notes are going to come up over here. Depends if you're using Apple or Mac. It's going to say Garmin probably over here at locations or somewhere over here on this side. You click it and you find the Garmin and you find the track and you just click it and import it and click OK, and it will import the track on the map. And then you can again right click on it, name that track 301, whatever it may be. So that's how you import things. It's not real hard, but something you can try at home as well. If you have your own Garmin, you can try to import stuff. You're not going to hurt it. So that is the crash course on how to use SAR Topo. Anybody has any questions, let us know. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you.